I wish I heated this just a little bit more. Still good to have coffee in the morning while camping. So, I was actually contacted by somebody through my YouTube channel about doing a bit of a review video. And I'm actually pretty excited. It was Nathan from Holtzman Guerrilla Survival. And he's like, you know, how would you feel about checking out this knife and reviewing it and, you know, putting some info in your video? So please keep in mind, you know, I did get rewarded for talking about this in my video. But I will include links in the description below to his website and Amazon page and stuff. And basically, long story short, he's like, you know, I'd like to send you a camp survival knife, see what you think about it, and, you know, you can talk about it on your channel and everything like that. And I was like, that's cool. I've been waiting to do stuff like that. I've been waiting for people to send me camping, you know, outdoor gear or camera gear to talk about on my channel and stuff. But just please keep in mind, I will be 100% honest. I'm not going to say something's cool just so I can have something free or get paid or something like that. You know, I'm not being paid for this, but technically I am. You know, I'm getting a knife out of it. But check it out. I love this case. And it's got a nice texture on it too, so I'm all about that. Talk about, you know, knife care and maintenance and things like that. So that's actually kind of cool. That might be promising, you know. Business card. I'm excited about this. Check this out. Okay, so I've got the sheath, right, which is a hard sheath. I like those. And this one actually comes with a ferro rod, you know, a little flint and steel type of setup. So it's got the striker, I see. I guess that's for the lanyard. I always put lanyards on my knives, if I have the option. And the striker, and here's the knife. I can't wait. Now, I like the color. Black. And it's got this like orange inlay. Okay, there's a lot of oil to keep it from rusting and shipping. That often happens. Oh, I like the little edge protector. Some of the kitchen knives, the better ones, come with those. I'm pretty sure. I've got tissues here. Let me wipe this down. This is awesome. So this is a 1095 high carbon steel. I always prefer to have high carbon. You know, the 440 stainless is nice because it doesn't rust or anything like that, but I prefer higher carbon because 440 is a little bit brittle. Well, it holds a wonderful edge. It can snap. It doesn't have a whole lot of give. You know, it's not a flexible steel. Whereas high carbon, it can rust a little easier, and sometimes there's a little bit more work with the edge, but it's just a more durable blade. It can flex a little bit if it gets, you know, used in the wrong manner. It's not as prone to breaking as 440 is. So I always go for the high carbon. Yeah, this feels pretty nice in the hand. I'm pretty cool with this. See how sharp it is. Now, this knife has a full tang, which means the blade extends all the way through the handle, and the overall length of the knife is 8.6 inches. Right out of the box, it is sharp. That is nice, because I prefer a sharp edge. A sharp edge is actually a safer blade. When it's not very sharp, you're more likely to get injured, you know, or slip or cut. So I'm not sure what this handle's made out of. I'll try and include it on the screen, but it's pretty comfortable. I can't picture getting blisters from this too easily. It's a little bit small for my hand down here, but that's actually good. That gives me leverage, actually. So I want to see how sharp this is in a minute. Let's see what else is in the package. So here's the sheath. This is pretty cool. Oh, it's got a different kind of latch. That's awesome. It's kind of like one of those gun holsters or something. you know what? So I can actually reattach this. I can actually take this clip off and rotate it like 90 degrees. So I can either draw the blade this way, or I can attach it and draw it this way and keep it like on the back or on the front. That's probably how I'm going to wear this, because I prefer to pull them outside like that, you know, to the side. And it's got a little thing here, I don't know what to call it, a fold. So if there's any moisture on the knife, it actually drains out of the sheath rather than stays in the sheath. That's great. Some of my, like my Mora knives, they usually have a little hole drilled in the bottom of their sheaths for that very purpose. So this is nice too. It's going to keep it from slipping out unwanted. I love that. Oh, that fits nice. Look at that. I'm liking this. Nathan, you rock. This is actually pretty exciting. This is exciting. So the little, it's nice. Ferro rod. And here is the little striker. So I usually use my own ferro rods and strikers and stuff. See how good this works. Now, ferro rods come with this black coating when you order them, and that's just to keep it from getting damaged in shipping, and it also reduces the odds of throwing a spark in shipping. You know, even though it's unlikely, you don't want to take any chances. So you get that black stuff off, you know, and then you can actually throw a decent spark. Oops, as I scratch up the picnic table. That's not bad. So it's a decent striker. Usually I use my own kit, but I wonder if this has a 90-degree spine. See, I often grind a 90-degree spine on the back of my high carbon knives so that I can use them, if I have to throw a spark. Okay, it's not bad. So this isn't really intended to be doing that. And you can actually damage your blades a little bit, stain them up. I mean, you know, a decent blade's going to be able to handle it. But still, it's not what they're made for. That's what this is made for. It's kind of cool though. So I guess this fits into here on the sheath. That's why this is a survival setup, right? That's pretty snug right there. That's actually pretty snug. That's not slipping out. So this is already trained to hold on to this, so it doesn't look like it's going to fall out. It seems like it'll just snap in. It does. That's not going anywhere. So check that out. That's a nice setup. And here is the lanyard. So whenever given the option, I attach a lanyard to my you know, knives and stuff. It gives you more leverage, and in some cases it keeps you from dropping the knife, and that's a big deal, right? But in other cases it catches on to things. Now some knives will have one of these. There goes an inchworm in the breeze. I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to attach this right now, because if I'm going through the woods and everything like that, and I got a long lanyard hanging off my knife, that's going to catch on something. So I'm probably going to shorten this out. But the idea behind it is, at least how I like to use them, is I'll have the knife and then I'll wrap the lanyard around my hand like that, you know, and I get more leverage, a stronger grip. But we will worry about that later. Nice. Okay, so one end is a screwdriver, Phillips, and the other one is an Allen key. Or what do they call those? L key or something. I could remove the striker, and actually that's what I'm going to do because I have my own setup already. I don't want the bulkiest setup on me. This is nice. Oh, I like how this goes together actually. Be patient. So when you're camping, and you're unscrewing things, great idea is to set them down on the picnic table right in front of you so that you move your hand and knock them and they go flying, and then you never see the thing again. That way you don't have to worry about it anymore. You just kind of out of sight, out of mind, right? Yeah. This is pretty awesome, actually. Now, I've got a lot of knives. I've been carrying knives since I was 8 or 9. I think 8, because there was this little jackknife with a mother of pearl handle. I lost it. But I found it 2 years later in the spring. I couldn't believe it. I felt like an archaeologist. But I've been collecting and carrying knives since I was a kid, and I always like a good knife. And by the way, I should have said this earlier. What is that? 1/4 inch thick? Okay. Actually, the blade isn't a 1/4 inch thick. It's 0.136 inches. Sorry about that. That's a thick blade. But I love this orange inlay underneath the handle, between the carbon and the handle. I just love that, the visual aesthetics on this. And it's a very smooth handle. Again, this isn't going to give you any blisters. Like, I love those antler handles and things. They look really cool. But you get blisters using those things. If you're actually doing some camp work, you're going to, you know, dig your hands up using those things. So let me try a little bit of activity here. So I'm going to try out a few different things here. Things that are usually done while I'm camping or doing outdoor stuff. So no camping trip is complete without a campfire. But as you may or may not know, it rained all night last night, and when that happens, you often wind up with a lot of wet sticks and things like that. Now, I could look around a lot more to find some dry stuff and all that good stuff. Or you could just simply make a fuzz stick, which can get to the dry material of the stick and make it a little bit easier to catch. Plus, well, I'll show you. All you really do is shave these things down. You could do a nice long shave, which I'm not going to be in the mood for doing right now. All right? Oh, this is sharp. This is a sharp knife. Okay? Now, you want to be careful not to violate these shavings and have them break through like I just did there. I don't do fuzz sticks too often, so I'm a little bit out of practice, but that's because I'm good at finding dry materials in the woods. Actually, you can already see how dry that is underneath. So the stick's pretty wet on the outside, but the material within is pretty dry. It's not bad for making a fuzz stick, actually. Ugliest fuzz stick I've ever made, though. Usually they curl up and they look like a little Christmas tree. So to debark branches, I often use the spine of a knife. This works wonderful. Just like any knife, it should be able to carry its weight when it comes to simple tasks like this. By the way, this stuff all dried up. Wonderful tinder, just like I said. Okay, lay this out in the sunlight, and I'll put that in my kit for later on, because I will be cooking tonight. So it gets the job done for making fuzz sticks. Although I just made the worst fuzz stick I ever made. That's my fault, not the knife's fault. Another common task while doing stuff outdoors around camp is taking bits of wood and processing them into smaller bits. And you know, this isn't an axe or a saw, and you're not going to just chop this like that. But what you do, simple, you just baton it through. Now, it's a little bit of a shorter blade, which is actually pretty good. A bit longer than the palm of my hand, which is actually pretty good, though. I like them this length. Sometimes a little bit longer, but usually this is a good length to have for general all-round activity. Plus, I wear my knives all the time. I don't just wear them while camping. And the smaller is a bit better than those giant things from Predator, you know? So batoning with a blade this long might be a little bit trickier than a blade an inch longer, but this should get the job done. Okay, so that batoned very well. And just to let you know, if you're trying to do like fire bow or hand drill spindle, you know, hand drill fireboards or anything like that, you might want to baton a board, and you could get that nice flat surface for putting your notch in. Actually, this might be good. I could see it's already cracked though, so that may or may not suffice. I'm telling you right now, this knife batons better than probably any other knife I have. Wow, this thing really does a great job batoning. So, see what I'm talking about? You got a nice flat board here. You make a nice flat edge on both sides, or whatever side you're going to use for your notch. And there you go. That's how you make a nice fireboard for hand drill spindles, you know? Then you just carve your notch. Now this is a drop point. See how that drops down? You see that? So that's a drop tip. That's what I prefer all the time when I'm, you know, looking for a good outdoor knife for camping and bushcraft and stuff. I never want those, you know, those tanto blades, right? That's called a tanto point, where it goes along and then drops dramatically and then comes straight back, like on the ninja swords, you know, that kind of stuff. It's not good, because then you can't really start your fire bow notch. And if you do fire bow and stuff like that, you know, it's always a good thing to do is start your notch with just the tip of the knife, and then you put your spindle in there. This works pretty good. It's a drop tip. I don't even need to test it for that. See how good it is for carving in the notch itself. Yep, pretty good. I mean, I knew it would work. It's a knife, right? It holds an edge. Of course, I can carve my notch with it. Yeah. So yeah, this knife gets the job done. It batons wonderfully. It's got a great edge on it. It's got a drop point, so I can start my fire bow, you know, my spindle notches on the fireboards. Obviously, this would be great for cutting, you know, string or rope or anything like that. I should have done like the paper test, but you know, you don't want like a razor blade while camping. At least I don't, because you know, it gets damaged and dulls out too easily. This is just right. It's a great length, it fits in the hand perfectly, it's comfortable, it's a smooth thing, but it's got just enough curve and stuff on the handle so it's not going to slip out of my hand. I love the sheath. These sheaths are the best. And yeah, I would recommend this knife if you're thinking about getting it. I'm sure there's other knives and things on the website. Again, that's Holtzman Guerrilla Survival. And I'll have links in the description below for the website and the Amazon page. But I wonder what else Nathan has. Nathan, thanks a lot for sending me this. I love this. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I can't wait to use it in general activities when I'm not reviewing something. But good stuff. Thanks a lot. This is pretty exciting. So once again, I'm Chris Ignato. I'll see you in the next video.